Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. I'm Jerry. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how to stake your ApeCoin directly to the contract, no VPNs necessary, and how to unstake, and how to claim, how to read and check your positions. And all of the resources that I'm going to be using are in ApeCoin staking in the Surreal Discord up there. I'm going to be using those links. But like for instance right here, I'm just going to go to the staking contract, the ApeCoin contract, and I'm going to bring up my little ETH converter tool. There's a couple different ways to use the ETH converter tool. To convert your units, you can either use this one or you can use the one that's in Etherscan. There's a unit conversion tool in there as well. So whichever one works best for you. And this is the ApeCoin contract. This is the very first thing that we're going to have to do when we decide that we want to stake. We have to approve the staking contract to spend our ApeCoin. And you do that inside of the ApeCoin token contract. So we're going to go down here, and you can find this in the at apecoin.com and scroll down to the bottom and then bring it up right here. That's your safest way to find this. And then just scroll down to where it says contract. You want to be connected with your wallet that you plan on interacting with that has your ApeCoin in it, the one that you want to approve the staking contract to spend from. And we're going to go to write, and I'm going to go to connect to Web3. Let me get out my ledger. All right, get myself logged in here. All right, and then we're going to go to approve, and we're going to have to approve a spender address, and then we're also going to have to approve an amount. Now you can approve an unlimited amount. That's usually what you see happen with when you go to spend from a contract. They usually just approve an unlimited amount, and then we use revoke.cash to go in there and revoke the permissions later on. I'm going to be a little bit more specific and give it a specific amount that we want to allow it to spend. But first of all, we have to tell it that the contract that's going to be doing the spending is the ApeCoin staking contract. So I'm going to go to the ApeCoin staking contract. It ends in FBB9. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to come back over here, and we're going to paste that in. And then the amount we're going to choose, let's say we wanted to max stake a Bored Ape and a kennel. Okay, so that's going to be 10,950. This number won't work. We actually, for all of our ApeCoin, we have to convert to Way. So we're going to use this little conversion tool. It's going to add 18 zeros. Again, you can use the one that's on Etherscan as well. It's in other tools, and then you can navigate over to unit converter and you can do the same thing. I like to use this little guy, so I'm going to copy this number right here, 10,950 with 18 zeros. I'm going to come back over to the ApeCoin token contract, and I'm going to paste that number in there, and I'm going to hit write. And this is going to allow me to, it's going to spend 81 cents, and I'm basically adding to the amount that I'm allowing this contract to spend. Hopefully this is enough for the purposes of today's workshop. And I can go to view transaction, and after just a few seconds, it's going to go through, and then I'm going to close this. I don't really need to do anything else with that. And I know that's going to go through. I'm going to go ahead and close this. And now all I have left is the ApeCoin staking contract. And what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to right click on this read contract. I'm going to go to read instead. So usually, you see all these transactions and everything here. I could go figure out what this person 5 minutes ago did wrong, and we could try and help them out. Maybe we'll do that later. I'm going to go to contract, read contract, then scroll down to where it says get all stakes. And I'm going to paste in any address that I want to query, that I want to find out what's going on in that address. And it's going to show me right here some numbers. And I have this on the cheat sheet for you. Everything that starts with a 0, this is the pool identifier. So 0 pool is going to be ApeCoin only. The 1 pool is going to be BAYC. The 2 pools are going to be for all of your MAYCs, and the 3 would be for your kennels. If I had 4 kennels in this wallet, you'd see 4 different 3s, and then it would have a different token ID next to it. So for instance, the my kennel right here is token ID 3139. I have 856 ApeCoin that's deposited. So this third number is how much you have deposited to that to the pool through that token. And the next number, these are your unearned or your unclaimed earnings. And the next number is going to be your projected 24-hour returns if nothing else changes in the pool. So right here for BAYC, you can see that this is 182 ApeCoin per day. I can copy this number and put it into our converter, and it's going to show us 182 ApeCoin per day is what it's projected to make. This morning it was at 200, yesterday it was at 240. It's going to continue going down. It'll find its equilibrium soon. The next two numbers are going to be 0 and 0, and those are going to be your pair. So that's going to show me which ape that kennel is paired with. So it's going to be zeros for anything that's not a kennel. So that's how you read all of these. If you wanted to see what your earnings were, you would just come and look at this fourth number for the 0. When you claim, it's going to reset that to 0 because you claim at 100%. We'll get to that in a few minutes. All right. So now I'm going to be up here at write contract, and I'm going to go through these one by one, sort of, and kind of explain. It looks like there's a lot, but I'm going to be able to break these down pretty easily. First of all, anytime you see self, you see like withdraw self, or even deposit self, ApeCoin, or claim self. Self is going to assume that the recipient in that transaction is going to be the address that you are signing with. So the wallet that you're signing with is going to be the recipient, and it's a given. So if it just says, for instance, deposit ApeCoin, that means that you're going to be depositing ApeCoin into the ApeCoin only pool, and it's going to give you the ability to have a recipient because it doesn't say deposit self, it gives you a recipient. If I want to deposit self ApeCoin right here, it's not going to ask me for a recipient, it's just going to assume that I want to interact with the contract or the wallet that I'm signing with. So now if I go to deposit BAYC, it's actually not going to ask me for a recipient because you can only deposit, well, you're just depositing actually to the BAYC. You're using that token to deposit into the pool, but that token itself is going to remain in control. So it doesn't even need a recipient because the ape itself is what's going to control the ability to withdraw that stake anyways. It doesn't matter where you send it. So you're not attributing any of your deposits to a wallet, you're attributing it to an actual token. So it's really important to remember that if you sell your token, if you sell your BAYC or your MAYC, you will lose access to your ApeCoin that is attributed to that as well. So important to remember. And I'm going to show you real quick how this would work for depositing. It's as easy as this. Actually, you know what? We're going to do a withdrawal first, so that because I just noticed that I was max staked. So we're going to do a withdrawal. It looks very similar. We're going to do withdraw self BAYC. And if I come up here to my MetaMask, you can see that I have 50 ApeCoin total right now. So I'm going to just do withdraw self BAYC, and it's going to be a bracket and a bracket. I add some of these spaces. They're not really important until you get to claiming. Claiming spaces are important. You don't want any spaces when you're claiming. But with the other ones, it doesn't really make much of a difference. So I'm going to go to withdraw self BAYC, and I'm going to tell it two different things. I'm going to tell it which token I want to withdraw from and how much ApeCoin I wish to withdraw. So in this case, the token ID, my ape number is 3155. I'm going to put a comma here, and then we're going to use a big number. So let's say I wanted to withdraw, like, let's say 2,000. I want to withdraw 2,000 ApeCoin. I have to put 18 zeros behind that. So what I'm going to do is use my conversion tool, 2,000. We're going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it in here. But I have to put it in quotes because it's a big number. If I didn't put this in quotes, let me show you what happens, just in case you get an error and you see it and you'll remember. If I hit write, it's actually, I'm not connected. All right, if you're not connected, it also won't do anything. Now I'm connected, and if I hit write, it's going to give me this error right here. It says big number. If you see this number, you just forgot to put this in quotes. We're going to put it in quotes and hit withdraw. And it's, well, I have to log back into my ledger here. cost me $1.85. It's not too bad. All right, so that's going through right now. And then when we want to make a deposit, it's going to look pretty much the exact same. So let's say I want to go to deposit BAYC. I'm going to literally put in the same thing. So I can actually take out some of these spaces just so you can see. Open bracket, open bracket. I'm going to put in my ape number 3155, comma. I'm going to go ahead and put that quotation in there. And let's say I only want to deposit, 1,000. I just want to put in 1,000 more. I'm going to copy this number. I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to put that quotation in there, and then I'm going to close bracket, close bracket. And before I actually hit that, I'm going to go back over here to the read contract function, and we're just going to go ahead and see if that first one has completed yet. So I'm going to go to get all stakes again, number 4. I'm going to copy my address. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to hit query. And it was maxed out a minute ago, and now you can see that it's no longer maxed out. It's at 8,094 instead of 10,094 because we just removed 2,000. So that went through very quickly. That's as easy as it was for us to unstake and withdraw 2,000 ApeCoin from that pool. And as you can see also, if I go up to my MetaMask, you'll see assets and you'll see 2,050. So we've added 2,000. So that's as easy as it was for us to unstake. And then to restake, we've already started that, and we can just go to write and confirm. And remember, I'm only adding 1,000. So it's going to ask me to confirm this transaction. I am now going through staking. I'm now staking an extra 1,000 ApeCoin to this position, and it should take about anywhere between 2 and 12 seconds. And the next one that we're going to talk about is claiming. So with claiming, and we'll go back and check that in just a second and make sure it went through. Matter of fact, I'm sure it already did go through. So there it is. And we can come over here to the read contract function. And if I hit query right here, you're going to see that this number 8094 is going to turn into a 9094. There it is. And the only other number that you're going to see change when you do that is going to be your projected returns, because it's automatically going to calculate what your projected returns are going to be over the next 24 hours if everything else stays the same. It's going to go down considerably over the next few days. So we're going to go back over to write contract, and now we're going to look at these claim functions real quick. So let's say I want to claim BAYC. All I'm going to have to do with claim BAYC, now see, notice I didn't hit claim self BAYC. If I hit claim self BAYC, it's a little shorter. It's just going to ask me for my number. If I do claim BAYC, I have to put in an address. I can claim and send that claim, those unclaimed rewards, to another address. Also keep in mind that when you do a claim, it's going to claim 100% of those unclaimed rewards for that NFT. You can claim for multiple NFTs too, but when you do a claim, it's going to claim 100%. For any NFTs, you can't choose to claim just a small amount. It's also important to remember that if you do a withdrawal, you can withdraw in any increment that you want, all the way down to 1 ApeCoin. But once you withdraw that last ApeCoin, or if you close your position, it's also going to call that claim function, and it's going to clear out all the unclaimed earnings as well. So it's important to remember, if you do not want to claim for whatever reason, do not withdraw all of the ApeCoin. Leave one in there if you're going to withdraw. So right here, if I want to do a claim BAYC, I'm literally just going to put in my number 3155 and then a recipient address. If I wanted that to go to a different address, I could do that, or I can put in my address and hit write. And it's as easy as that. It's going to go through. If I want to do it in a slightly easier fashion, I can go to claim self BAYC, put in my number, and then just hit write. If I had multiple apes in one wallet, multiple BAYC, I could just do a comma, and then I could put in my other ape numbers as well. It's important to note here that if I do a space and then I put in a number, and it's not going to go through, it will give you an error. You cannot have any spaces when you do the claim function. It doesn't work that way. So, okay, so we've covered depositing, and we've covered withdrawing, and we've covered some claiming. I'm going to cover a little bit with the kennels for a second, because with the kennels, there are a couple different procedures. So let's go ahead and go pull some out of our kennel, and then we're going to deposit a little bit back in there. This is a slightly different process, and part of it had to do with the bug bounty. So for instance, if I wanted to deposit into the BAKC, it's going to come up with this pair. Okay, it says BAYC pair for in number 11 deposit BAKC. It's going to want to know which ones do you want to pair with what. Now, if we go back over here, we can see that I have kennel number 3139, and it already has 856 ApeCoin that have been deposited. That's the maximum. I can't put any more in there. And it is attributed right now to BAYC. That's this number 1. If it was a 2, it would be MAYC, number 3155. So it's currently paired with my ape. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put in a bracket and a bracket, and then I'm going to put in my ape number first. Then I'm going to put in my kennel number of 3139, and then I'm going to put in however much I would like to deposit. In this case, I can't deposit any because I'm maxed out, but let's just pretend that I want to put in 56 ApeCoin. I'm going to put in a 56 into my converter. I'm going to copy this big number. I'm going to paste it in here, put the close quotation, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the bracket. Down here, let's say if I hit right, it's not going to do anything. This entire field, all of this has to be completed. You can never leave an open field or it's not going to go through or it would give you an error. It won't even let me write this. And in order to solve that, I just have to open the bracket and close it. If you ever see this right here, this little box, that's what that is. It's an open and a closed bracket with no spaces. In this case, it doesn't matter if you have spaces. I like to leave it like this for visualization purposes so you know what you're looking at. And at this point, I would be able to hit right. It's not going to go through. It's going to give me an error right here. And that's because, again, it's full. The other reason that it might give you an error is if you didn't do the approval, but in this case, it's because it's full. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a withdrawal first, and then we'll come back and do that. But the withdrawal is actually a little different for the kennels, and I'll tell you why. It's because when you have a kennel and it's in a separate pair, or a separate wallet than your BAYC, there's a slightly different procedure. And the reason is because the kennel has the ability and the rights to the unclaimed earnings of the pair, but it does not retain the ownership of the staked ApeCoin itself. So the 856 ApeCoin that are deposited do not belong to the kennel. They belong to the ape, and the ape is depositing it through the kennel. And essentially, the kennel gets to keep the rewards. So if you were to sell the kennel, that person could then claim those rewards. They can only do it once, and the only way that they can do it is by closing the position. But when they do close the position, they would get all of those unclaimed rewards, and all of the staked ApeCoin would go right back to wherever that ape exists. So if that ape has been moved around too, and then they close the position, it doesn't matter. That ApeCoin will get deposited to wherever that ape exists at that point. So the syntax looks very similar. Here's how the string is going to look. Let's say we wanted to close that pair. I'm going to go open bracket, open bracket. We're going to put in my ape number 3155. We're going to put in the BAYC or BAKC number 3139, and then I'm going to put in the amount that I want to withdraw. Now, if I want to only withdraw, let's say 56 ApeCoin, I can do that. I can just go ahead and copy this 56 with the 18 zeros. I'm going to paste this in here, and I'm going to put this quotation, and then I have to put in here a boolean, which means a false or a true. So if I put false, this means that I do not wish to uncommit the pair. I still want the pair to be committed. I still want it to earn. I only want to remove 56. I don't want to close the entire position. If I put true, that means I want to uncommit the pair. This would be what you would do if the pair was separate. And you like bought a dog and it had 50 or 60 ApeCoin that were deposited to it, and you're like, okay, I need to deposit to my own ape. I need to pair this with my own ape so I can make a deposit. You would have to do this. You would have to basically unlink the old ape, and then it would give you the claim. You would get whatever unclaimed rewards were there, and then you would be able to pair your ape with that dog and then make a full deposit. But you wouldn't be able to add anything to that deposit, and you wouldn't want to, because if you do, the ape that you're depositing to, which you could, would then have control of that. So if you were trying to top off your dog that you had bought, but somebody else controlled the ape, technically you could do that. It would let you add 56 to somebody else's stake. Unfortunately, the ape is still going to be in control of that, not your dog. So you would want to use this true function, and then it would sever the pair. I'm going to show you this in 2 examples because it's important. I'm going to put false, and then I'm going to close this, and that would tell it, I do not wish to uncommit this pair. I just want to remove 56 ApeCoin. And I already said before on the bottom here, we can't leave anything open, so we're going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to get out my ledger. I'm going to put in my passcode real quick. And we're going to write, and this is going to remove 56 ApeCoin. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same exact transaction, but I'm going to show you with true. I'm going to put in true, and I'm going to show you that it's going to do something different. When I hit true, it's going to close. It's going to remove all of it. For the time being, for this one, you're going to see that this 856 is going to turn to 800 because we only removed 56. And there it is. So it's down to 800. If I change this to true and we do this again, same transaction, I'm going to write it. Another $2.50. Accept. And then what's going to happen now, if these were in different wallets, the entire 800 remaining ApeCoin are going to be deposited to wherever this ape is at that time. And if there were some unclaimed rewards, all of those rewards would go to the kennel. So that transaction, I'm sure, has gone through. These are all super fast. And we're going to hit query, and you'll notice that it is now zeroed out. So that kennel pair is completely fresh. And then, of course, if we go up here to MetaMask, you can see that I now have 1,906 ApeCoin that I have now withdrawn, and we have to go put all that back. But we're going to do that as an exercise. So before I move on, because that's a lot of information I covered really fast, does anybody have any questions up to this point? All right. Claire, can I get you to mute for me, homie? Thanks, bud. All right. So claiming BAKC, let's go to some claiming functions because some of these are a little bit different. But if we go to claim BAKC, right here, we're going to, again, show the pair. So we would put in here your actual pair, but it's going to have to be in these, the brackets. So we're going to go bracket open. We would put in 3155, and then we would put in 3139 for the doggo. So that is my ape number, my doggo number, and then of course we can't leave any of these blank, so that one's going to be open and close brackets, and then the recipient address would be wherever I wish to claim to. And I would hit write, and that will go through just fine. Of course, I can't claim anything because it's not currently staked. If it was staked, I would be able to claim. Like for instance, if I go to claim BAYC, right here, if I hit write, this is going to go through just fine. So let me open up my little cheat sheet and see what we missed. I know I went really fast. I want to cover as much as I can, and also it's not terribly difficult. And if we go through these one at a time, which I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to show you that they're all basically the same. So claim ApeCoin, number 2, is going to be for claiming your ApeCoin rewards from the ApeCoin pool. Claim BAKC is going to be claiming your kennel rewards to any address. BAYC would be claiming you 100% of your rewards to any address that you want, and same thing with MAYC. Claim self ApeCoin would be a simple write function. This is the simplest of all of them. You'll click write, it will claim your entire unclaimed rewards from the ApeCoin only pool, and it will do it directly to the address that you're signing with. Claim self BAKC, claim self BAYC, and claim self MAYC. These are all, of course, going to claim directly to the wallet that you're signing with for those 3 pairs. Deposit self ApeCoin. This is how you would, deposit ApeCoin. You can deposit ApeCoin to anyone's position, into anybody's custody. You would lose this if you put a recipient's address that you do not have access to, but if you wanted to, spread it out to one of your other wallets, you could put in one of your other wallets' address, and you could deposit into the ApeCoin only pool from number 10 here. Number 11 is deposit BAKC We went through this one. BAYC and MAYC are the same. Deposit self ApeCoin, we went through that. These right here, remove last time range, renounce ownership and transfer ownership, update pool. None of these apply to us. This is for devs and the team. Withdraw ApeCoin, withdraw BAKC. So withdraw ApeCoin, again, since it doesn't have self, it would let us withdraw any amount of ApeCoin that we want from the ApeCoin only pool to any address. Withdraw BAKC, same thing. And BAYC and MAYC, again, these are the withdrawals. It's going to let you choose a recipient. Withdraw self ApeCoin and self BAYC and MAYC, of course, these are all the functions to withdraw any amount into your wallet that you're signing with. That's it. I mean, I know that it was fast and you're going to have some questions, but essentially it's that simple. There's not really that much else to cover. I'm happy to talk about any of the other, dynamics, or if you just have any questions that relate to, ApeCoin. But that's how you stake, withdraw, claim, and read from the ApeCoin staking contract. Most of it, yes. If you were to deposit and then you wanted to, for instance, go, fire up a VPN or one of the other interfaces that that we have to, one of the other UIs that are coming out, and lots of people are building them. Yes, all of this would show up. This is essentially the way I'm looking at it. This is those ways are like driving an automatic, and this is kind of like learning how to drive a stick. There is more control because most of those UIs would be pretty bogged down if you tried to include like all of this functionality. So they're choosing which functionalities that they want to provide. It just gives you a lot more control. But yes, all of this is available in most of the UIs. As well as the read functions are going to be better with a lot of UIs because they're just calling these different queries, and they're able to pull a lot of data, and that's where you're going to see the data that's pulled showing you, what the current rewards are and things like that. Does that answer your question? Yeah, okay, I wasn't sure I think I heard two questions in there. If you sell your ApeCoin, if you sell your ape, you're going to want to withdraw or adjust your price, of course. So if you sell your ape, you're losing your ApeCoin. If you want to claim and then redeposit into to compound, essentially, you can claim your earnings every hour, every day, every week. You can claim all of those earnings and then just redeposit those to compound and earn interest on those as well, or earn your rewards on those as well. Did that answer your question? Awesome. All right, so one of the other things that I'd like to point out is, and it's really important, the simple fact that you are going to, I know that we're going to see people who accidentally list an ape and forget that they have a stake. The good news is there are going to be tools, and it's going to be built into the UIs, and eventually it should, across the board, we should always see, like, when you see an NFT, you'll see how much is staked to it. So Rareboy, the same people who did the same team who did 10KTF, where you can go and check to see what shoes you're going to get, or if something's been claimed or not. Just gives you all that functionality and the visualization. They've also done something that hasn't quite shipped. It's almost ready to ship, I think.
General Press just posted it.
And it is, let's see, it's live. Okay, cool. So it's currently live. I don't have it right here. I don't have it installed. I mean, maybe it is. But it will show you not only a warning when you see an ape, or I think maybe when you go to list, saying that, hey, there's a stake attached to this, but also just when you go, you can actually just go look at any ape and see how much is currently staked through that ape. So that's really cool. Oh, cool. Here we go. So that's going to look something like this. And I'm not like endorsing Rareboy or anything. I'm not getting paid by Rareboy. It's just a really cool, feature. I love it. So I'm happy to share. And they've, there's no, you don't have to sign with them. There's no gas transaction to install it. It's basically just a plugin. I've been using it for a long time, so I think it's great. But right here, as you can see, there's an ape that shows that it's got no stake, and then you can see over here that there's this one on the right has a BAKC staked to 633 ape, and it's maxed out with the BAYC pool. So I find that to be really cool. I like that a lot, actually. And then of course there's a warning too, and we've got press in here showing us the way, and I'm sure we'll get some updates from them. I'll push those out as they come out. So yeah, there's a big warning here, right here. This NFT is currently committed to an ApeCoin staking pool. If you sell this NFT, you will lose all of the staked ApeCoin associated with the NFT. This is like really important. Like we need warnings like this, and a lot more big giant red warnings are helpful. I feel like we'd have fewer fat-fingered sales if somebody had something in there that was saying, hey, you're about to sell something for 90% below the floor. Yeah, Rareboy. They have a. I currently use their. If you haven't used Rareboy, let me just go to OpenSea. I'll kind of show you what it looks like. I don't think I have it turned on. Yeah, here it is.
Oh, there it goes. Nice.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, we need more tools like that. I've always liked those. So, um, perfect. I mean, yeah, Cool Man's Universe babies. Yeah, there's all kinds of wonderful utility in this thing. I love it. It's beautiful. So, um, anybody else have any questions? Anybody else want to run through it? I called it a workshop last time. If anybody wants to run through and stake. Yes. Correct. If I set it to 0, it will withdraw the entire amount if I put true. Yeah, this caught me up on the last class because I had been doing all of the testing from the test net, and then while I was in Miami, I came back. I didn't test every single feature before I did the last class, so I got caught up on this because they added this true boolean, or this boolean right here, and it took me about an hour to figure it out, to be honest. So. For sure. And I'm here for any questions. If anything ever comes up in the future, if you just want a one-on-one. I mean, I had somebody who messaged me this morning at like 2:30 in the morning, and they're like, hey, do you have time? And I'm like, yeah, I'll get up. So I got up and helped them stake and got them all set up. Right now, honestly, like I've pretty much put everything else on hold. I've probably got other stuff that I should be doing, but kind of just want everybody to be safe and get this done. And I don't want there to be any unnecessary FUD. So I want everybody to have the tools available, and the best tool is, in my opinion, Etherscan. You missed the class, Ophir. We recorded it. It was at Central Time. That is totally okay. It's on YouTube, and it's a little long. Anybody who's actually watching on YouTube right now is probably wondering who I'm talking to. We are in Discord, so anybody watching on YouTube, I'm talking to the people in Discord that you can't hear. Much love, brother. Love you, Ophir. All right, buddy. You're good to go, buddy. I appreciate you. I'm just hanging out. Let me see if I've got any questions on Twitter. I'm not sure. Oh, wait, no. I need 4 custom banners. Good luck. I haven't made a banner. All right. Yes. 2,042 for a mutant, 856 for a kennel, and 10,094 for a BAYC. I've heard a few people who were under the impression that maybe the pools are kind of combined, because on ApeCoin.com, it's not entirely clear. It kind of describes the pools as combined right here, where it says Bored Ape plus Kennel Club 10,950. That's a little misleading. It's 2 separate pools. You're depositing into either the Kennel pool or you're depositing into the BAYC pool. You can max out the BAYC pool or put nothing in the BAYC pool, and you can max out the 856 into the Kennel pool or put nothing. You do not have to have any in one pool to have some in the other pool. So it's not a combined pool. You don't have to, it's not like overflow. It's just, they're 2 separate pools. So if you had 500 ApeCoin right now, and that's it, and you had a BAYC and a Kennel, right now, based on the returns, I would probably recommend somebody put the 500 into the Kennel pool and continue to claim and then redeposit into that until it was maxed out, and then take those claims and then take the overflow and put it into the BAYC, assuming that the rewards were still higher on the Kennel. If the rewards flipped to where the rewards were much higher for the BAYC, then you'd probably want to move over the 856 to the BAYC. No, so you can start off with the 2,042, and then it's just going to slowly accumulate or quickly accumulate, and you don't have to ever claim. So there will probably be people flexing. I don't know what he just said, but there's no yes, you can infinitely accrue coin. When you claim, you can take that claim and put it anywhere. Okay. Anybody? If you wanted to get back into the MAYC pool with more than 2,042 ApeCoin, you would need another mutant. Yes. And that was really an important distinction when we originally were the first edit that had to happen with the DAO was specifically, I think, that with any of the AIPs, because that cap wasn't in there. That was one thing that was really important, so that somebody couldn't buy one mutant and put like 500,000 ApeCoin on one mutant, making, just completely dilute that pool. I'm pretty sure it was always meant to be that way. It's just they forgot to explicitly say it. But yeah, there are caps, and that's why they're so valuable, in my opinion. Like the pools aren't going to be diluted to oblivion. The ApeCoin pool, the ApeCoin only pool, anybody with ApeCoin can deposit into that pool. But as far as an MAYC pool, you have to buy an MAYC, and the most that you can deposit is 2,042. If you leave it in there for 2 years and you never claim, it could very well rack up to where you have 2,042 that are deposited and 10,000 ApeCoin that are yet to be claimed. That 10,000 ApeCoin, it's not earning anything. So only the deposited staked 2,042 can earn. Does that help? Awesome. Yeah. Sure. Okay. All right. Here's how I feel. I'm not against using VPNs. I'm not going to recommend somebody use a VPN. I've used VPNs for things like leverage trading in the past, but I've never, I'm not of the impression that I'm going to get in trouble for that someday for leverage trading through Singapore. Back in 2020, I think that it's illegal for Singapore or for anyone to offer leverage trading in the United States. So they don't. If they did, they would probably get a cease and desist. I think that because we have unclear regulation, that ApeStake.io wisely decided, hey, let's just go ahead and let's just Horizon was like, hey, let's just not give ourselves no attack vector. We'll just say, instead of giving them the opportunity, since there's no clear regulation, it's like, okay, when they do come up with clear regulation, or while they're trying to figure out clear regulation, they didn't want to give some regulator the opportunity to sit there and say okay, cease and desist, or you're breaking a rule. And it's like, well, show me the rule. I haven't seen the rule. And here's the other way that, look, I don't personally see a problem with it, and ApeStake.io works fine. I know lots of people who have used it just to, as a conduit to basically do everything that we're doing right here. A little simpler, a little easier. Like I said, it's more like the automatic to the manual transmission. I'm not worried about people. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. And honestly, I know that there's some people who are scared, and I've seen some people who have said stuff like, things are illegal and stuff like that. I've yet to see anything about anything being illegal. And honestly, worst case scenario, the United States government has already pretty much said, hey, never use Tornado Cash ever, ever, ever. They were explicit, don't do this. And Tornado Cash is pretty, we know what it can be used for. I've been staking for years, and I've never seen the government be like, okay, stop staking. No more staking on Ethereum. I just haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet. So when we see it, we'll cross that bridge. In the meantime, I think it's just a precaution. So like I said, I don't see anything wrong with using the VPN, but there are other tools available, and this is one of them. And I'd rather, people feel comfortable using this, just because let's say that in the future, and I'll give you a good example. When Tornado Cash was sanctioned, the government gave people the opportunity later on. They were like, okay, we might have overreacted. You can take your money out, but you have to do it through this avenue. And it's essentially, you had to do it through the contract. You couldn't, the front end had been taken down, so you had to go through the contract. We saw similar things with other platforms. Sometimes if a front end is compromised, like even with Curve, the front end was compromised and it was pointing people to the wrong contract. If you didn't know how to use the contract, you were basically just at their whim until they got back up, which they did very quickly. They were great, but that was, you were at their mercy. Whereas if in this case, if that were ever happen, you guys would have the tools necessary to be able to withdraw faster than anybody, and then hopefully spread that word on how to withdraw, and then we'd all be safe. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's nice to have the tools. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming in, supporting. What's up? So here's the cool thing. So there's a few ways to do this, and I've walked a few people through this in just different ways. You can either move all of your assets to one wallet if you want, and then just authorize that one wallet to spend enough ApeCoin to deposit and make all of your staking positions, and then just redisperse all of your apes back to where they came from. And they would just have bigger bags. They would just return home to their other vaults with much larger bags. So make sure you, again, delist, delist, delist. Or you could, and I didn't cover this too much, but you could just open each position with one ApeCoin each in the in each wallet. So I believe in wallet diversification. I believe that people shouldn't have all their apes in one wallet. I think that it's smart to be, spread out across multiple ledgers even. And you could do that. You could just send enough ApeCoin, one ApeCoin per NFT, and deposit that one ApeCoin into those pools for each NFT. Once you've opened a position, at that point you can top off that position from any address. So that's why we're able to go to deposit BAYC, and if I just put in ape number 2012, that's Trilla's number. If I put that in there and he only has one ApeCoin deposited so far, I would be able to top off his entire position. If he has not opened a position and it's still like he hasn't started to stake yet, it's going to reject it. It's not going to tell me I can't. But that just gives you a little bit more flexibility again, where if you wanted to deposit to another position from like one central wallet where you got all of your ApeCoin, you could do that. Yep. The second one is correct. Yeah, it's 2 transactions. You have to manually claim and then deposit, and it's right now it's going to cost you about $4. We'll see. If gas is under 50, it's going to cost you $5, $6, $7 for both transactions. Shawners, do you have a question? I think I see NGB Ben in here. No, I don't. Never mind. It's another one. Big Dog Brothers. See, it's because Ben has so many faces. All right. Does anybody want to go through it? Yeah, what's up? Nothing to do with this at all. Is anybody going to volunteer to stake? Anybody want to go through it? I'm going to top off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through this real quick. I'm going to go to read. I'm going to go to get all stakes. I'm going to see what position I've wrecked here. All right, so I need to add 1,000 ApeCoin to my BAYC, and I need to add 856 ApeCoin to my kennel. So to do that, again, I'm just going to go to write contract. And by the way, if anybody has like a multitude of apes, I can write the strings for you. There's a way to deposit multiple dogs, multiple apes at the same time, as long as they're within the same family. So you can deposit like multiple BAYCs in one transaction, multiple MAYCs in one transaction, multiple dogs in one transaction. You can't mix and match. So if I want to deposit ApeCoin into the BAYC, There's my 1,000, but it's the wrong ape number, so let's just go ahead and change that. Make sure it does 1,000. Copy this number and paste that in. My number is 3155. Unlock my ledger. Okay, I'm gonna hit write. And then I'm gonna go to deposit BAKC, and I'm gonna go ahead and just add this 8 on the front of this. That's 856, and that's my ape number, that's my dog, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit write. Gas went up a tiny bit. That one's gonna cost me a little more. Let's see. Hang on. It wants to. Oh, it doesn't want to. It's grayed out. It wants me to open it, the whole window. Fascinating. Stop it. All right, I'm just gonna refresh. That's a MetaMask problem. Okay, deposit BAKC. All right, open bracket, 3155, comma, quotation. I'm gonna put in the 856 number, so I'll take that out. And 856 ApeCoin. Close the brackets, can't leave this open. Right. Deposit B. Oh, I didn't put in my dog number. My bad. Okay. I didn't sign that person with my ledger, I don't think. That's what happened. And if anybody does want to meet afterwards or just go over some of these or just needs a refresher, I understand I went really fast, but I'm also happy to help anybody just walk through one step at a time. If you ever just get hung up or you see something that's not, it doesn't feel like it's doing something the way it's supposed to, drop in my DMs and I'll be happy to help. Awesome. Sounds great. Also, anybody's welcome to always drop in Surreal. We hang out here pretty much every day, working on just random stuff. Lately, it's just been this, but you know, I make banners in here, just kind of hang out. But we're not pitching anything, just a place to hang out. And if you're one to, you know, it's a good place to also just, you know, talk about the state of ETH and other side and ApeCoin and just pretty much everything Yuga. All right, so I'm gonna go to read contract, get all stakes, post in my address, see what the current state of things are, and there we go. 1094, 856, we're topped back off. This top one's got 350 ApeCoin in it. If I wanted, I could add another 50 to that. I'll just leave that there for now. Also, if you want to get into the discourse, you still need to have one ApeCoin available if you want to log into apecoin.com and talk. Voting stays the same. You can still vote. You just wouldn't be able to actually get into the discourse without at least one ApeCoin. I mean, you can't type, you can't leave messages or anything unless you have one ApeCoin in your wallet. So. All right, I'm gonna turn off the YouTube stream, and but I'm gonna stick around in here. I'm not going anywhere. So if anybody has any questions, this is where I'm gonna be. So. Hey, buddy. For sure.